Just when they dared to believe the storm had passed, the past began to stir again. A quiet, relentless ripple of justice had begun to swell, an investigation into Trang's father, once thought untouchable. The secrets had buried for decades now crept back into the light, whispering truths too sharp to ignore. But with revelation comes uncertainty, and one question lingered above all: would Trang return? She had vanished when the truth first cracked the surface. Not a word, not a sign. But silence isn't always surrender, it's sometimes a recalibration in the shadows. James, ever composed on the outside, betrayed subtle signs of unease. Too Deep noticed them, the way he double-checked locks at night, the heaviness in his eyes when he thought no one was watching. They had come so far, survived so much. But danger knows where love lives. It waits until hearts are exposed to strike its cruelest blow. Outside their countryside home, rain tapped the windows in steady rhythm as night stretched endlessly. Inside, Too Deep sat quietly at the kitchen table, peeling sweet potatoes. Her hands moved, but her thoughts wandered. Every time headlights appeared in the distance, she looked up, hoping James was back. He wasn't. Miles away in a hotel room in the city, James stood by a window, phone clenched tightly. He had just handed over a mountain of evidence, bank records, wire transfers, recorded conversations, all pointing to one man, Trang's father, a pillar in the agricultural import empire. James hadn't sought this path. Once, Trang had been more than just a colleague's daughter. She had been a comfort during stormy years, a quiet presence that made him believe in peace again. But peace, he learned, can be a veil for rot. To reveal the truth was to challenge a dynasty. But silence would have made him complicit. So he spoke. What he didn't expect was Trang's return. It was early morning. Too Deep opened the front gate to gather herbs when she spotted a sleek black car parked just beyond the fence. From it emerged Trang, not in designer wear, but a gray coat that blended with the mist. Her eyes, once confident, now looked weathered. "You're too deep," she said, not as a question, but a statement weighted with unspoken history. Too Deep nodded, caught between wariness and compassion. "I came to see James. He's meeting with the lawyers," Too Deep replied. "I know," Trang said quietly. "He's preparing for the trial, against my father." A silence fell between them, thick and unmoving. Then came the question Too Deep had to ask. "Are you here to stop him?" Trang flinched. "No. I'm here to tell him he was right. And with that, she turned and left, her presence lingering like the scent of rain. That evening, under the porch light, James returned. Too Deep met him with 3 words, "She came back." James froze. "Trang," she said, "you were right?" She didn't fight it. She looked broken. A strange ache rose in James's chest. Not guilt, but sorrow. Sorrow for what the truth had destroyed. He sat beside Too Deep and drew her into his arms. "I was afraid she'd come back with fury." "She didn't," Too Deep whispered. "But James, are we really safe now?" He didn't answer right away. Instead, he pulled a sealed envelope from his jacket. Inside were new threats. Anonymous letters, names of powerful men linked to Trang's father. Men with influence, men who knew where they lived. "They know us," James said grimly. "They know you." Too Deep's breath hitched, but her eyes didn't waver. "Then we don't hide," she said. James looked at the woman beside him, this girl who once sold bananas at the market, who now stood against giants. Her courage humbled him. "I won't let anything happen to you," he said. "I know," she replied. "But promise me something, James, don't give up on justice. No matter how dark it gets." "If you surrender now, everything we've endured will mean nothing." "I won't," he vowed, taking her hand. Outside, the rain softened, a war's echo fading. But they both knew, the war wasn't over. Forces still moved in secret. Wealthy men with reasons to stay buried, and Trang? She disappeared again. Not out of rage, but into a silence that spoke of mourning, perhaps even love. You can love someone, and still let them fall. You can grieve a father, and still fight for what's right. That's where the future begins, between love and truth. Days passed in uneasy quiet. James knew it was the eye of the storm. The evidence he submitted was damning. Trails of tainted fertilizer imports, corrupt land deals, falsified reports, all under Trang's father's watch. By night, James and Too Deep rarely slept. A rustling outside sent them to the windows. An unknown call had James checking the locks twice. Once, they came home to find muddy footprints near the back door. "They're warning us," James muttered. "Trying to rattle us." Too Deep, standing stiff by the window, said, "They're not just threatening you anymore. I saw someone following me at the bus station." That night, James called in Kwong, a quiet but razor-sharp security expert. Cameras were checked. Locks were reinforced. Still, the city whispered. Trang's father's allies began to scatter. Some offered bribes, hush money. James refused. Then came the envelope. No return address. A red seal. Inside, 2 photographs, 2 deep, walking alone in the market. 2 deep, sleeping on their porch. Below them, scrawled in ink, "Drop the case or lose her." James's jaw clenched. He didn't show her. Not yet. That night, as 2 deep peeled mangoes and hummed softly under the stars, James joined her. "Too deep," he said gently. "If anything happens to me, no." She cut him off. "Don't say that." "We're in this together. Don't you dare keep me out." He smiled despite the fear. They leaned into each other, stealing a breath of peace. But peace doesn't last when the enemy grows desperate. 3 nights later, a fire broke out at James's old city office. Arson. Everything burned, except the backup drive James had hidden. The message was louder now. And then, Trang returned. A black car. A simple coat. Eyes fixed on James. "We need to talk," she said. Inside, 2 deep stood nearby, arms crossed as James poured tea. Trang didn't drink. "My father is trying to flee tonight. A boat's waiting." James said nothing. "I told you because I know you won't back down." "And maybe I don't want to protect him anymore." 2 deep stepped forward. "Why now?" Trang's voice cracked. "Because I finally understand, you don't protect someone by hiding their crimes. You protect them by helping them face them." James reached for his phone. "No," Trang said. "Let me come with you." He searched her eyes, for lies, for traps. He found only pain. That night, under the cover of a brewing sea storm, James, Kwong, and Trang made their move. At the docks, as crates were loaded in silence, they closed in. Trang's father never saw it coming. There were shouts, flashing lights, cuffs, and a daughter, crying not for betrayal, but release. Back home, rain finally fell steady and cleansing. James and 2 deep sat by the window in silence. The fight wasn't over, more trials lay ahead. But they had drawn the line. Chosen the truth. And they were still together. Because sometimes the hardest decisions in life aren't between right and wrong, but between justice and love.